On. All right, so we're recording. So thank you all again for joining us. In case you don't know, I'll just introduce myself first. I'm Tom Rosenberger, the Interim Assistant Dean and Director of the Online Graduate Programs at Albany Law School. On behalf of your professors, who you will soon get to know, our outstanding staff, both on the online graduate program team and the other offices and resources around campus that support you. On behalf of our President and Dean, Alicia Wallette, and the entire leadership team, I want to thank you for choosing us and welcome you to this new academic chapter in your lives. It's exciting. It's a big decision to make, and we're here. You're here, and we're glad to be part of your journey. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be, finding yourself researching a lot of topics, learning a lot of new things. The weeks are going to go really fast in the classes because, as you all know by now, they're 7-week classes, but they're full classes. So things go quick. You'll find, I hope, a lot of positive networking with professors and peers and other members of the law school community. So thanks again for being here today. And I'm going to get the agenda pulled up. We're going to go through some of the key offices, some of whom you've potentially already met or already spoken to. We're going to talk about tips for online success and to not be intimidated if you're coming back to school after a long time or you've never studied online before. We're going to talk about some of the key systems and tools that you need to be aware of and you need to be using as a student with us. And then we'll round it out with, okay, what's next? First things first is finance, right? So I think we don't have Samara today, but we have Andrea, the Director of Financial Aid. Did you want to introduce yourself, Andrea?
Sure. Hi, I'm Andrea Weather. I'm the Director of Financial Aid, and I can take this piece even though it's not technically mine because they're sort of hand in hand. But so my office does the financial aid, which we'll get to in a minute. This page is talking basically about billing. So Samara Dorward is the accounting manager who oversees all of the billing and payments and that sort of thing, and her contact information is there. Key things to know: statements are not mailed. They are on the student portal. So you want to make sure that you look for that, make sure that you're covered, paid, got aid, whatever it is that you're doing. And she's got the payment methods listed there: cash, check, financial aid, a Fair Masters, or an LLM. You can pay by credit card online, but there's a fee assessed. And then there's a plan for employer reimbursement. You can get your tuition deferred. There's a form that you need to fill out with her to do that. So she would be the person to contact about payments.
Now, Andrea, I don't know why this happened or how this happened, but I actually don't have a slide for financial aid. So go ahead if there's more you want to say.
My slide disappeared.
Your slide disappeared.
Okay, well, all right. So my piece. So financial aid, federal financial aid is available for masters and LLM students. You need to be taking 4 or more credits per semester. So that is session 1 and 2 combined, at least 4 credits. You would file a FAFSA for the current academic year. And once you're registered, we would put a package together for you. We can't really do it until you're registered because everything is credit based and we need to know how many credits you're taking. There is a budget for living expenses, if that's something that you need, just be aware that living expense refund doesn't disperse until week 2 of session 2 every semester. So you're more than halfway through the semester usually when you get that. If you are not eligible for federal aid, there are private loans available. You can use anybody you like, but we have a small list of lenders at ELM, like the tree, select.com. And I don't know if I covered everything that's on my slide since it's not here. But
we have your
contact. Put my contact.
Yeah, I think we have it at the end, but feel free to put it in the chat. One thing's for sure, we're all accessible, yourself included. So we can certainly pass students on to you if they have additional financial aid needs. Thank you for that, Andrea.
No problem.
Next is Assistant Dean and Registrar, Joanne Fitzsimmons.
Welcome. I think most of you have probably gotten your schedules from me. So I work very closely with Nicole to get you registered for the session. We're going to continue to do that for a little bit of time, but we're going to unveil a new product that will hopefully give you better access to mapping out your plan of study and registration. So that'll be coming in a couple months for spring one. I think we're trying to earmark spring one for the new system. So that'll be great. My office is the transcripts, which is normal. We participate with the Student Loan Clearinghouse. So if you have a loan, I send your information off to them for loan deferment. If you needed something for health insurance, we also do that. We confer your degree once you have met all requirements. And we work very closely with Tom and Nicole and Allison in online graduate school. So welcome.
Thanks, Dean Fitzsimmons. Yes, and I will say later on in the slides, I'm going to show where you can go onto Canvas and see what classes you're registered for, whether or not they've been made available to you as a student yet. If there's any problems with that, just reach out to Nicole and we'll get them squared away in the next day or so. Okay, next up is I'm going to be bold and say one of the most important resources that we can offer you. And we want to be very clear to our new students that whether you have a JD or not, there's a lot to learn about legal research in this day and age. And I want to introduce for you Tom Hemstock.
Wow, well, thank you very much for that generous introduction. Flattery will get you everywhere. My name is Tom Hemstock. I'm the librarian attached to the program, and this is really how we can help you. So please reach out. Individual research support. So if you're doing research in one of your classes, you're trying to do discussion posts, and it's just not working the way that you think it should, let me know. If you're trying to think of a topic that you want to write on, let me know. I can show you with all sorts of amazing resources out there. Also earlier actually I think late last week, I take that back. Late last week, I sent to your Albany Law email address passwords for Westlaw, Lexis, and Bloomberg Law. So if you didn't get that, let me know. If you have any password issues, let me know and we can easily resolve that. So the sooner you give me a heads up, the quicker we can solve that. If you've never heard of Westlaw, Lexis, or Bloomberg Law in your life, what is he talking about? Well, definitely contact me. And also, next week, I'm doing an introduction to legal research for everyone. You can be a certificate, a master's student, an LLM student. Everyone is welcome. It's for an hour next week. Happy to stop in for 5-10 minutes, ask your question and then leave. I won't be offended. We'll be recording the entire session there as well. So I guess I'll just close off with, there's a remarkable amount of legal research material online, but I think it's a mistake to say, oh, it's all online. Well, that's maybe even, we can debate that statement, but we want to you to be able to find it quickly and efficiently. There are millions of cases out there and documents across Westlaw, Lexis, and Bloomberg Law. So it's kind of like me saying, well, it's all in print, but you don't have hours to go through a library. So if it's been a bit since you've been in the library, if you're really unsure of what exactly we have available, contact me. There are amazing free resources out there, but your library is also spending an awful lot of money on some really cool resources that you can take advantage of in this program. So thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I will say, obviously, when it comes to writing a paper or something like that, this is a resource. But even in the routine weekly discussion boards, as you'll see in a little bit, we really expect academic dialogue, and we expect you to defend your opinions, if they're opinions that you're sharing, with resources, whether they're provided by the professor or not. So knowing how to find something good quickly can help you really get ahead in your classes. Next up is the Student Bar Association, which, again, for those of you like me who don't have a law background or law school background, the Student Bar Association is effectively our student government. And I believe we have Haley Smith.
Hi, yes, I'm the current, I'm a 3L on campus, and then I'm the current SBA executive president. So SBA is basically our student government, like Tom said. We basically distribute student organization funds, and then we also vote on student organizations, how they become inactive and inactive on campus. We work a lot with liaising between students and then helping them, I guess, find the perfect resource on campus, whether it be a faculty or the registrar. And then we do larger on-campus events, such as Barristers Ball and stuff like that, which is up in the air due to COVID. But in normal years, those are large-scale events that the Student Bar Association puts on.
Thanks, Haley. And we want to be clear to our online student population, which is oftentimes busy working, that's the reason that they're perhaps choosing a program like this. A lot of the programming that you guys did last year due to COVID was virtual. And I think the plan is for a lot of it to still be this year. And we also
Yes.
want to say that as an online graduate student, you do pay dues to the Student Bar Association. You are a member of the Student Bar Association. So to the extent you want to be involved, you're welcome to be involved.
Right, absolutely. A lot of our events are virtual, if not hybrid. Yes, and then every student on campus is involved in the Student Bar Association. Also,
Right.
please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Haley. So next, I'm going to go through some tips for online student success. And the most important thing that you can take away if you have nerves about this or whatever is don't panic. We're here for you, just as we were through the application and the decision process. So let's first go through what to expect in an online course. And for those of you who attended a recent open house or information session, you may have seen this same slide, but I think it's important to repeat it. So our courses, again, are 7 weeks long. They're asynchronous, meaning there's no requirement that you ever meet in real time with anybody. And when there is, it's a one-time 15-minute meeting with the professor that you schedule yourself, or it's office hours. So like total flexibility is what this is about. We cap our classes at 20 students. So you really should feel like you're becoming part of a learning community over the course of the 7 weeks. We want to make sure that you stay connected to your professor. Connected means communication, and communication requires 2 sides. So get to know them. They're your learning guide. Stay engaged with them. Read the feedback that they're providing to you, whether it's long or short, it's meaningful because they're providing it. So take it seriously and consider how you can make them part of your professional network over the course of your 7 weeks. A typical week includes, you're going to review some things. You're going to review the information about what this module, we call them modules each week, includes and what you're supposed to take away from it as a learner. You're going to do the reading. You're going to watch the recorded lecture videos. We try to keep them short and to the point. So if it's a 3-credit class and it was an in-person class, you might think that it would be 3 hours of listening to a lecture. It's not going to be 3 hours of listening to a lecture in most of our classes. It's going to be brief because the readings were deliberately chosen. The discussion board prompts were deliberately chosen. Everything matters. And so it's not all about the lecture video, but what they do say in the lecture video is important. And then, like I said, you'll do discussion every week. That's your chance to engage with your peers and your professor around the learning material and the topic. A lot of them are scenario based. So they'll pose a question or a scenario or some sort of prompt, and you have to, there's expectations that are laid out in the syllabus. They're almost exclusively standardized. So you'll see the same rules from course to course. Courses start on Monday morning and they end on Sunday night. So anything that's due for that week is typically due Sunday night. All the due dates are expressly laid out right in the learning system Canvas, which we'll show in a second. Discussions involve your initial post and then they involve discussion. So your initial post would typically be due on, let's say, Thursday of the week. That gives you time to do the reading early in the week. Do your initial post, and then you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where everyone will have done their initial posts. So now you can have subsequent dialogue. Assignments are usually weighted throughout a course, throughout a 7-week course, rather than one big, huge assignment at the end. And when there is one big, huge assignment at the end, it's oftentimes broken out into phases or components that you're working on over the course of several weeks. So there could be some assignments in a week. There could be other weeks where it's just discussion and no other assignment. And then we offer an opportunity for you to self-reflect, because as you can imagine what I'm saying, the weeks go really quick. So the ability to stop at the end of a week and think for 2 minutes about what you learned and how it relates to your personal and professional growth is really important. So we give you a place to do that. So how do you get started? Well, the first thing is you read the entire syllabus carefully, including all of the links, because we have standard online graduate program policies that are linked within the syllabus. They link out to the standard policy. Make sure you get to know them, attendance policy and such. Get familiar with the module structure and the deadlines and the due dates and all of that. As I said, communicate, participate, don't be shy. It's really easy to be shy when you're at a distance. Don't be shy. You should be checking into your courses at least 3 times a week. That's a minimum. Really, you should be in there every day, checking for updates on the discussion board, etc. But as a minimum, you should carve out time 3 days a week to be active in there and show your presence. Click on all the links, get familiar with everything. Watch all the videos as you go through the module, take notes when you read, all important steps. And as I said again, and I'll probably say it more times, create a relationship with your instructor because they are your mentor. When you have questions, whether it's a logistical question or a content question, ask it. Ask it almost immediately because you'll forget and 3 days will pass and an assignment will be due tomorrow. And you'll have needed to have a conversation with your teacher, perhaps, about a topic. So ask those questions immediately. Make connections with classmates. You'll find that our classes typically have LLM students and master's students combined, meaning students who already have a JD and students who don't. So it's really interesting because we've seen cases where students will rely on each other in the class just as much as they're relying on their professor for background, maybe some of the regulatory or legal background related to the topic being discussed. So again, don't be shy, stay organized, use a calendar, look ahead. In most of our courses, when you gain access, you will have access to everything for the whole 7 weeks. Maybe sometimes there's a quiz or a test that's hidden or other reasons for things to be hidden, but primarily, you should get in there and be able to understand what the next 7 weeks of this are going to look like for you. And then always have a plan B around technology. So do you have a friend or neighbor whose Wi-Fi you can use if yours goes down? Is there a cafe around the corner? Think about those things. It is ultimately your burden to have functioning technology so that you can participate in accordance with the rules and the deadlines. I kind of said this already, but the weekly discussion piece is really important. We want substantive posts. A lot of times in undergrad or in other educational contexts, the discussion board kind of sits over on the side as, an optional or just sort of a sidebar activity. That is not what it is in our classes. It is a big part of the grading, as you'll see in the syllabus, the grading breakdown. And we want more than thank you notices and pleasantries in there. So even your responses to peers should be substantive, and you'll see all the rules in there. So systems and tools. The first system that you should all get to know is my.albanylaw.edu. This is the portal. And you can see in the diagram there, hopefully it's large enough to see it. There's a lot of things on the portal. There's access to your email. There's access to handbooks. There's access to Canvas, which is the learning platform. There's contact information. It's a portal. So everything is there for you, and you should have access to your single sign-on, which is the credentials that were sent to you by Andrea Wedler. Next system is email. Everybody knows how to use email. You can see the address there on your screen. And by the way, we will be sending probably tomorrow. I'll be sending a follow-up message to everybody with some of this stuff summarized. So you don't have to jot that down. But what I do want you to know with email is that as an active Albany Law student, you really are required to be using, checking, monitoring your Albany Law email account at all times, because for a number of reasons. One, that's how the billing office, financial aid, registrar, everybody around campus will contact you through that official channel. For example, the billing office doesn't mail paper bills, but they email them. So when you're an active student, it's going to come to this account. The learning system, Canvas, where you're interacting with your students and your peers and your professors, is tied to your email account, in that you will receive notifications in your email account when things are happening in your course. So you can reply to grading activity that it comes into your inbox and says something's been graded. You can reply to the professor through that. You can keep track of who's participated, who's responded to your post in the discussion board. Everything funnels into your email account. It's very important that you check that. And on the screen is our ITS help desk. If you have any questions or concerns about your email account, really any of these accounts in terms of access, please reach out to them. But of course, you know us, and we can always refer you. The next one that's very important is, as I said a few times, the learning platform. So it's called Canvas. Folks may have used Blackboard or Moodle or other systems in the past. In law school, what was somebody chime in and tell me what the law school, the other system is that folks might be used to. Twen, yeah. So thank you. So Canvas is the new learning management system that we've had for a few years. You can see there a snapshot. This is just a snapshot of what a course might look like. Once you get into Canvas, you'll see a number of things that I want to point out right now briefly. And in order to do that, you gotta find it. Here we are. Okay. So I logged into Canvas with my single sign-on. I can see that there's a couple of announcements right on my homepage. For me, there's information about fall 2, textbooks, etc. Here's a link to Professor Hemstock's legal research introductory workshop right on there. And then you find your courses that you're enrolled in. The place to see whether you're properly registered is you click on courses, you go all the way to the bottom, and you click on all courses. Again, this will be in the email I send out tomorrow. It will show you the courses that you're registered for, and even the ones that are not available to you yet. So this one's not published, but it means that I'm in it, and I'm in it as a teacher in this case. This one, I'm in it as a student, but it's not available to me yet. So this is kind of the last point of where the data flows. If something should be here and isn't, let Nicole know and we'll get it resolved in the next couple of days. The other thing I'll mention about Canvas is I mentioned the notification settings go into your email account. You can actually modify your notification settings right here. So on this page, I can choose what types of notifications I want to receive where and at what frequency. So immediately, daily summary, weekly summary, or not at all are the options. The reason I have push notification as an option is because I've installed on my phone the Canvas Student app. So if you go to your app store, search for Canvas Student, install it, search for Albany Law, log in with your single sign-on. Now Canvas is able to send push notifications according to the schedule and the preferences that you choose here. The other thing I'll say is, see that in the red bar, the inbox 18, I have 18 unread messages. These are messages that came to me through Canvas directly and not through my email. So the point there is it's kind of two different systems. If you see a number there that you have an unread message, make sure you click on it because it may not have come into your email. Nicole, was there anything that I missed about?
Tom, I was going to actually ask a quick question. We have a question. Are you able to forward your Albany Law School email to another one. So I know I had Gmail when I was in my online program, but Canvas was also in Gmail. So I was able to get all of my emails just into my general Gmail account. But is Canvas connected to Outlook? Because I feel like if you have Outlook, you might not be able to, but do you know that answer?
Yeah, so in Canvas, you can, in your account settings, you can add your own email address, a secondary email address where notifications from Canvas can go. But that does not negate everything I said about all the campus offices contacting you at your Albany Law, because that stuff doesn't go through this system. So you still need to be checking your Albany Law. We use Microsoft 365 email, and by way of a simple Google search, you can find directions on how to forward all email that comes into your Outlook email account to another address. Technically, we're not supposed to support that or show it because there might be data privacy issues around that. But I believe that if you follow the directions and do it, it will work.
And I just wanted to second that mobile app that you had said that when I was in an online program, I used my mobile app, especially to check that little inbox in Canvas, because it was so easy just to access it and see it. And that's what I did. And checking every once in a while, if I was on a way to a meeting or something, I was able just to use that mobile app to see if there's any notifications and to see if I did have any emails from the Canvas. So I think definitely download that mobile app. It'll be a really huge time saver for you.
Thanks, Allison. And the next one that I want to show, bear with me, actually brings Tom Hemstock back into the conversation if he's still there. He is. Yep. So this is linked. You can find this page from all of your Canvas courses. You get into your Canvas course, there's a menu, options, typical. One of them is library resources. It points here. But what would you like to say about this, Tom?
Sure. So I put some common links on this page here. So things like ebooks access. We have thousands of ebooks, and we're adding at least a couple a week, and also big chunks of them every so often. So there's a guide there. Follow up again on Westlaw Alexa's passwords are there. Oh, there's my lovely face on the bottom there. And then there's some guides. So there's a link to basic blue booking. And these are just kind of starting points. And if you have any questions on any of this material, please let me know. And I also realized I forgot to mention something. If you live locally, or if you just want to do a road trip, you are welcome in our physical space here in the library. So if you want to come in to study, if you want to come in and see a physical print book that you can't get online, let me know, shoot me an email, and we can get you access to the building, because you have the same access that law students here do. We want you're part of this community. So you have access to the building as well, to the library.
Great, thank you. And then the last place we want to introduce you to tonight is our Online Student Cafe, which is a Facebook group. And I'll ask Nicole to briefly touch on this.
Hi, everyone. So if you have Facebook, feel welcome to join the Online Student Cafe. It's pretty easy to find us on Facebook, and it's just a nice place for everyone that is a part of the Albany Law School Online Graduates Program team to post events, webinars, share some interesting articles you found, pretty much just a way for the online students to stay connected. This screenshot's of 66 members. There's actually over 100 something members. So there's definitely a plethora of individuals in there, people to communicate with. If you have questions, you can pretty much just pop a question in there and one of us will answer you or try to provide you the resources that you need. It's just a fun way to stay connected.
And we try to invite folks like Haley or a delegate from SBA, Tom, our diversity, equity, inclusion fellow, different people from around campus we try to invite to post things that might be relevant to our online audience in there. So definitely worth following. Thanks, Nicole. So this is my last slide, and we almost stuck to 30 minutes. So as I said earlier, check on Canvas that you see your courses listed on that all courses page. If you're not registered yet, or you've just gotten in under the wire perhaps, and we're still working with you, as long as you and Nicole are on the same page, we'll get things squared away this week. Semester starts Monday, of course, officially. The courses are partially published right now, so we're working through them. Some of them, if you've got access to Canvas right now, you'll have access to your courses. Others will be shown as unpublished, and nothing to worry about there. It'll be published in the next day or two. Check out the library. Make sure you read the syllabus of your course or courses, and go into there's a module in every course called Start Here. Go there and find the Introduce Yourself discussion board. Read what it says. It gives you an opportunity to tell your teacher and your classmates who you are, professionally, personally, whatever you want to share. It's really important that everybody do that, form a learning community early. As I said, the 7 weeks go fast. So that may be something you want to do this weekend, perhaps, before you even get started. And of course, join the Student Cafe. That's the presentation. Were there any other questions? No? Okay. You see some of the contacts on the screen, but again, reach out to us. We're a small community. We'll get you put in touch with whoever you need for whatever you need. For example, one person that's on this list that we didn't have here tonight is the Career and Professional Development Center. So we didn't even talk about that. So if you're interested in engaging with those folks, let us know. Otherwise, I guess I'll just congratulate you all once again for your acceptance. We're looking forward to seeing you get started and flourish and graduate in a timely manner. And we're here to help along the way. So don't be shy. Good luck and best wishes. We'll see you in your classes. We'll stick around in case anybody wants to ask any private questions or, outside of the presentation. We can stick around for a minute or two.
Yeah, it was wonderful working with so many of you throughout the admissions process and getting to know you and hearing your stories. And, we're always here in admissions. If you ever had a question like, hey, who should I contact? You can reach out to us. But much like the assistance that Nicole and I, and if you spoke with Amanda, that we were able to give you through the admissions process, all of these names here on this sheet, they will certainly help you out. And that is the biggest thing that I would say, is that this is a great community. And if you have questions, ask them right away, because it really can impact your full trajectory of your course and your future courses. And just know that as excited as we were to work with you, the rest of the institution is excited to see you in the program as well. So, but it was great seeing everybody tonight, and so glad that so many of you were able to join us.
And William says, thanks for the t-shirt. You're very welcome. Okay, I don't see any hands. Cynthia, do you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to say, thanks for making us feel so welcome. It's really extraordinary. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we say we're small, we're a close-knit community, but anybody can say that, right? I hope you'll continue to experience that, and I know you will. So thank you.
I suspect I will. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, like I said, we'll send out follow-up information that summarizes some of this tomorrow. Please be sure to find it, read it, and let us know what you need from here on out. All right. Have a good night.